Good morning. Gonna give a minute to get Lupita on, but I'm excited to talk about our topic today. Joining a team versus being a solo agent. I get that question a lot, and I'm excited to hear Lupita's perspective because she has done both, and I as well. And I really want to see if we can, give some clarity to what the benefits are for each. So let me get Loops on, and we can get this started. This is my breakfast. Sorry, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I went and started a whole life without you because I was like, where's she
What?
at? Yeah.
How?
Oh, because I was on here and I was like, where is she? Okay, well let me start and then I'll wait for her. Uh
I didn't know we could do that. That's cool.
yeah, anybody can do that and then request to join each other.
I mean, oh,
Uh
you started on your page and then came. Okay, I got it.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I was like right on the dot, right? I was trying to like get myself together, trying to get my breakfast, get situated, make sure my phone was charged, make sure it was on do not, all the checklist things. So, but now that we're here, I know we didn't talk about the topic, but I thought like I had a couple of people ask me over the weekend, and I was like, it's a good topic to talk about, you know,
Yeah,
joining a team
especially
over being a solo agent because there's pros and cons to both. And I don't know, I think we can share our perspectives and also our opinions, and then also like what we think the pros and cons are because it's going to be different for
yeah.
everyone. And we
I
both
think
have
right
done
now.
both. So I think we have enough information to share.
Yeah, I think right now I've seen a lot of activity or a lot of buzz about do I need to move to a team? Do I need to but I think it's right now, it's like the heaviest because of, conditions or whatever you want to call them. I have
The
been seeing a
market,
lot of, yeah, I don't want
the
to say
market
that.
and the uncertainty and like, I don't know what I'm doing, which
Yeah.
is 90% of agents in our industry.
So if there was
Um,
ever a time to join a team, it's probably this season for sure, because coming into this business, even when it's a fluid market and everything's buzzing, it's not easy. So I think when you have the camaraderie and the supports and the skills and the set everything from um, a team lead, it just makes it so much simpler.
who put a thumb down? Who is that?
So I've never even seen that.
I didn't even know you could do that. Is that like,
That's
okay, all
hilarious.
right, well, can you give us some thumbs up, whoever that was? um, so yeah, let's talk about it because, and also it goes along with if you have to start over. And when I say start over, there's an evolution of being in real estate when you're a brand new agent, and then maybe you get, you find your rhythm, things are going good. Maybe you were solo, maybe you started out solo because you had like people around you that were telling you, your sphere of influence, like, hey, I'm gonna buy. So, or I'm gonna sell. Like you've got some potential clients kind of at your hand, at your fingertips. And so then you go through this career, and you have some ebbs and flows and some ups and downs, and you hit like a roadblock somewhere. And then you're like, okay, like what do I do now? I don't have I'm a solo agent. You've entered the space with this idea that you were gonna be in real estate and sell real estate, but you don't have a community. Now, everyone thinks, oh, well, I have to have a broker. So, like, that's my community. Like, I have to have a broker to work. So, that's my team. Yes and no. And it really depends, right? There's so many different definitions of what that looks like. But a broker is literally somebody that has to hold your license while you work. They're ultimately responsible for your work,
How you
actually
conduct
the
business.
legal part of the business. That's really what they're ultimately responsible for. They're really not responsible to make sure you succeed or to make sure how to market or how to network. Like that's not their
Yeah.
goal. Although a lot of them do put that in place because the more successful you are as an agent, the more successful their brokerage
If you
fee.
find a broker, if you find a broker that provides both, that's a win
Yeah.
because
And I
it's
think
rare.
there's a misunderstanding that, well, I'm with a brokerage, so isn't that kind of like my team? And I'm like, yes, if they position themselves that way, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
all know the flat fee brokerages, and well, I don't know if we all know, but you guys know that the flat fee brokerages are out there, and those are great if that's what you need. If you're going to sell 1 to 2 houses a year, and you're not going to do much, and or you're an investor and you're doing something that's good, that fits a need, that fills a need. But for the agent who's coming in, who wants to make this a career, who decided to leave corporate, who needs to do deals and transactions to live, that's probably not your best place to be. And even though a brokerage may say they have all this training and an office for you to work in, and a fax machine, okay, a fax machine, a copy machine, like all of that stuff, and if they've got those things, that's great. But are they giving you what you need in terms to really grow your business and grow as an agent? And that's where teams kind of shine. And I don't know. I didn't go back and look how far back when actual teams started inside brokerages. So there was a time when you had to be a brokerage would be considered your team and your brokerage. That's who you're affiliated with. But
Yeah.
now it's so different that you can be a team inside of a brokerage, and you don't have to be, the team lead does not have to be a broker. So it has evolved. And what I've seen is that one agent who's done really well, who's kind of paved the way, who's done all the trial and error and hard work, says, hey, or is doing so well, people come up to that person and say, hey, like, can you help me or share with me, or give me some guidance? And then you say yes, and then you bring them on to kind of shadow you or under you, and that becomes like the start of a team.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes deeper into how it's structured. But a team lead is somebody who really is invested in your performance and your growth. And you may not get that with a broker, just a general broker or a brokerage. So if you're kind of on the fence, like, what does that mean? And I see a lot of this happening when agents get started, and then they're like, I kind of am lost. And then people suggest to them, well, why don't you join a team? They don't understand what that means right off the bat, because they're like, but I'm already in a broker. Like, shouldn't I be getting that here? And that's not always true.
No, and
So
always every you're gonna make connections with individuals, and maybe it's a team lead, or maybe it's another person who you said has had success, and they may have different core values that appeal to you. Because, like you said, just because you join a brokerage doesn't mean that they think like you, that they have the same values, that they work like you. Um, so, sometimes team leaders definitely offer more value in that form, that they can show you structure, they can show you how they run their business, and you could basically just copy it. And why would you go and reinvent the wheel when someone's already showing you, this is how I do it, and this is how I've created success? Okay, well, show me. And it's a huge advantage to have someone directly to communicate with almost on a daily, as opposed to sometimes a broker who is busy with so many other activities that are not about the day-to-day uh, activities of an agent, like prospecting, like building your database, like filling out contracts, stuff like that. Um, there's a bigger advantage to that. So, sorry, my dog just distracted me.
oh, is it bring your dog to work day? I love it.
No, he's supposed to be getting picked up, but he has not gotten picked up. So
Gotcha.
I don't know if you can hear him whining, but I'm like, shut up. Come here, Dash.
Leave him alone. Let him make an appearance.
Yeah, he did already. He's like,
Oh,
he's a
look
star of
how
the show
cute.
today at the office. Everybody's looking at him like, oh my God, he's so cute. And I forget that he's so tiny that
He
it's
is very
like,
tiny.
yeah, like people are like, oh my God, he's so little. Like he brings a lot of attention. To me, I'm just looking at him like he's normal, but he's teeny tiny. He's only 4 pounds. So anyway,
Oh, what's his
sorry.
name? What's his name?
Dash.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's because he used to
Dash, you're gonna have to
dash.
dash on out of here because I need
No,
Lupita's attention.
this MF used to dash out of my backyard under the fence and like take off. I'd have to go and drive around and find him. And I
Oh
think
my God.
he calmed down. You know, he got better.
That's good.
Um,
Um,
there's somebody's asking about splits. Why should I pay my
So let's
teammates?
talk about that because some people don't understand how, like I said, the structure part of the team is different. Every team lead and every team is going to be completely different if they're inside of a brokerage. Now, remember, if you're new here and you're a new agent and you still don't understand your splits and commission and who gets what, like there's sometimes it can go 9 or 10 levels and you're trying to figure it out, and it can get a little overwhelming. Ask for the Cliff Notes version so you know exactly what you're getting. But normally, inside a brokerage, you pay a broker. You pay a broker for them to hold your license and be responsible for the legal part of your work, right? And of course, there's some other things they're responsible for, but ultimately, that's what they're there for, to make sure you are up to date with all of the regulations and make sure you're abiding by all the rules.
It also covers expenses like your E&O insurance and maybe some
Sometimes,
office
not
fees.
every brokerage does it. Some
Sometimes.
brokerages add it to your transactions. So make
Like
sure
a
you understand
hidden
that.
fees.
Hidden fees, make sure you understand that. But in
Yeah.
terms of teams, like you're going to pay differently with a team on top of your broker. So if this is something you're considering and like, hey, well, I'm considering joining this team or that team, and they are brokered by XYZ, take into consideration what that's going to look like. But also, again, we talked about value. If you're getting value in terms of lead or education or shadowing or mentoring, whatever the value is, it should correlate to what you're paying the team.
Absolutely. Yeah, it should line up to as a time in a timeline, right? You don't have to put a time to it, but if you set up a plan for like a 6 month, it doesn't have to be forever, is my point. It's just to
Yeah.
catapult you into and put you into position to become more independent and basically shoot off into yourself. I guess I'll share a quick story that you already know about it, but I did have an agent come to me and say, Lupita, like I I'm gonna get my license, and I want you to train me. And I said, well, honestly, I'm not sure that I want to take on that right now because I am on a team at the moment, and I am an independent agent. But I have had people come to me and ask me to train them, and I have trained people before, and I have mentored them, and I think I have helped them put themselves in the position to where they grow and they're like off on their own, right? And so this time around, it was a little bit different because she's like, I don't even care what the splits are. It doesn't matter to me. Um, Whatever you want to charge me, like, I don't even care about the structure. She's like, right now, it's all about, I want to get good at doing this, and that's all that matters to me. And when she told me that, I said, okay, well, I like that because that's how I thought in the beginning as well. It's just like you go open up any other business. You open up a boutique, you open up a coffee shop, any business. There's no revenue. None of the revenue usually is like profit. Like it's very low margins, right? This is the same thing. It's a business. You have to treat it as such. And just because you get a $10,000 check, that doesn't mean it's all yours. Like 30% of it is already gone to taxes, right? And then there's a budget that you should learn as a new agent to set aside for other expenses, such as, tickets to events, marketing. I mean, investing back into your business. So that's what, 40%? I mean, you start breaking it down and it's not really all profit. It never is, especially not in the beginning. So I feel like I remember you say, if you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And that's super true, right? Like we all want to win. We all want to reach our goals. But I think as a newer agent, you should change your mindset about it. I mean, if you're trying to replace your income, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to do double the work. But how are you going to do that if you don't know what you're doing? You got to pay into it. You got to invest in yourself and in your career. So That's just my take on it.
So in terms of payments to teams and brokerages, sometimes people get lost in that, and they're like, okay, so I'll use me for example. Okay, I'm with, and I've done this both ways. So we're going to talk about it being a solo agent under a brokerage and then being an agent under a brokerage in a team. So I'm an individual agent, but I'm under the EXP brokerage, but I'm on a team, Madison Fine Properties. So how does that look? People are like confused, like, what does that mean? Is EXP, do you pay them? Do you pay? Yes, everybody is involved. And imagine if you have a referral or a lead gen, now you're gonna have like multiple things involved. I think that explodes people's minds that come into this industry because they're like, wait, I thought I was just gonna like get my license, have to hang it with this brokerage, go sell this house, and I made $1 million. So like, what's happening? Why am I not? And I think when they don't understand the business structure of one, being a business owner, and then two, understanding how the real estate industry works, they get confused, they get disappointed. And if you come into this knowing exactly what to expect and be like, yes, other people are making so much money in this industry. How are they making it with these little commissions? It doesn't happen overnight. I listened to a little clip of a podcast that Dr. Dre was on, and he was like, if you don't come into, if you're not willing to commit to work on something for 5 years,
Yeah.
he said 5 years. If you're not willing to come in and work on something for 5 years with little to no return, then you might as well just stop now. Like, don't even try. And that resonated because yes, it could happen with earlier than 5 years. It happened for me earlier than 5 years. But if you have to be willing and committed to like remove the noise, remove all this other stuff, like, oh, I don't want to pay this commission. Oh, I want to keep my commission. Oh, I don't want to pay them. Well, I mean, great. Don't pay anything, and you're going to sit there and not make any money because you're literally going to be, unless you are just a badass at networking, at marketing, at door knocking, at cold call. If you're badass at that and you can do it on your own, be my guest. Do it. 95, I'm going to probably say 98% of agents are not like that. They don't want to do it alone. They're overwhelmed. They get frustrated. So joining a team that has already been through it, usually the team lead has been through all of the situations that you will come in, you will have those situations come up. So they can guide you, they can help you, they can be a mentor. They're there for you. Normally a team lead is there for you 24/7. There may be some boundaries there. There may be some, normally they're going to be there. If they're a good lead, they're going to be there for you when you need them. With that being said, there's a price for that. What is that price, and what does that look like for you and for them? You're in this industry, you're not going to get anything free. You may get freebie stuff that are valuable information, but the stuff that's going to actually move the needle in your business and bring you to the next level is not going to be free. That's time that somebody has already been through that, who has crafted, who has understood, who has created it in a way that you can learn from. That's not going to be free. You have to, and the best thing about this is sometimes you don't have to pay up front. As an agent, you don't have to pay them. Sometimes you do. You can have coaches, you can have specific people in your corner that you pay for specific things. But if you're going to join a team or a brokerage that has really high splits because they have a really high value, you pay it on the back end. You pay it through the split. So I always tell people, you're going to pay it one way or the other. You're going to pay it either hiring a coach up front, a higher split, or with leads. Like, you're going to pay for it. It's part of your marketing budget. It's part of your budget. Like you said, you should consider. And once you understand the structure of your business, everything else doesn't matter, because now you're just going all in on learning what you need to learn. And I'm speaking to the agents who are 0 to 3 years or 0 to more years, and you just haven't used it, or you just kind of got, you got disappointed that it wasn't going your way. I'm talking about those people. And when I mentioned earlier how you can start over at any point in your career, you could just like lose momentum, you could lose clients, you could lose the team, you could change brokerages, whatever, and you could starting from square one. And what I would do if I was a new agent and I was like, crap, I'm starting from square one, I would join a team or brokerage that would give me direct mentorship, accessibility to them. Like I can call, text them most of the time, leads that come in a like quality leads, not leads that I have to nurture for 12 months or 18 months. But if I knew like, hey, they have leads that come, I would just go hard on all three of those things. I don't care if I came home with 10% because now I'm going to rebuild myself. So if I had to do it all over again, I would go all in like that.
Yeah.
It's investing in yourself, like you said, and
Yeah.
that's the most important.
These beats, I'm about to throw them away.
Did I just talk about Dr. Dre and your beats?
Yeah, they suck. This set is probably like, well, they're a little bit older. They're like 3 years old. Like they're like the first generation. They die quick now. Like they charge them and they die.
Okay. But yeah, let's talk about were you ever a solo agent on your own, just at a brokerage?
So I was gonna say that, I think being on a team, like you're right, it could bring value at any point in your career for sure, right? And you can kind of shift with the times, and I like to be in a team environment. Who likes to be self-employed and working on their own? I don't know. I don't, right?
There's some people that do. They work better alone. They want their own direction, and that's fine. I've seen a lot of people go that way, and I've trained and mentored them, and they went off to be on their own, and more power to you. So, sometimes I feel like I work better that way.
Yeah.
But then you get to a ceiling, and then you're like, but you need that collaboration. You need that, that community.
Say, we've definitely talked about what the advantages of being on a team are, but I have been a solo agent. I mean, technically I'm a solo agent now, right? I am part of a brokerage, and the whole entire brokerage, well, not the entire brokerage, but some of the agents here they do collaborate in a team format, but we're all solos, right? So that's pretty rare too, that you're in a brokerage and everybody's kind of like a team. But what was I going to say? The things that you learn in a team can very much, like I said, catapult you into becoming independent. But when you come into the business and you don't know what the systems are, how to run your business, again, it's like any other business. You have to have your accounting department. You have to have your database department. How are you keeping up with your leads? How are you managing your contacts? How are your transactions working? I mean, you have to learn that from somewhere. And in order to keep a fluid business, you have to master those at the beginning, whether you're solo or you're on a team. But I think if you come as a solo agent, like, who's teaching you these things? Are you paying online to learn how to work your CRM, how to actually, develop that database and like continue to grow your business? Because like you said, there's going to come a time where it's just going to kind of stop, or you might run into or lose momentum. And if you don't have those skills, like, you might be faced with some big adversity to where you're like, well, shit, how do I pick back up? How do I keep moving from here? But being a solo agent also has its advantages, right? Because I don't think there's like less competition, but you're more accountable to yourself. It takes a lot of maturity, to be honest. It takes a lot of maturity. Mm-hmm. You also, it's just a little bit more chill, more relaxed for sure. Slow paced, but also you build your brand, you build yourself, and you could still do that on a team. I don't know. Being a solo agent, what are the advantages? I don't know.
What the way I see it is, most people become a solo agent after they've already been through the team environment, and they've already gotten all the help, and they're like, I got this, I can do that. Mm-hmm. But then at some point, I think they miss it. Excuse me. I think they miss it. They miss being able to like collaborate. Now, mind you, in a lot of these new spaces, EXP for one of them, you can collaborate with other agents and you don't feel like it's competition because you're all on the same team. You're all in the same brokerage, right?
Yeah.
You share things like that. But a lot of agents sometimes think, I just want, I want to have my own schedule. I want to work my own hours. I want to do my own thing. I want to have my own brand. I don't want to be tied down to a schedule. I don't want to be tied down to office work or office time. And yes, some of those things come with the brokerage you choose or the team you choose. They will have expectations, right?
Expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to know. If you want to be a solo agent, you really only have the expectations that you put on yourself. You only have the accountability you put on yourself. And if you're good at that, then do it. Then you'll be successful. If you know, I can do this on my own. I will put in the time. I don't need accountability. I don't need leads. I don't need to understand. I can figure it out on myself. If you know that you can do that, it's still going to take you a minute. It's not going to,
Mm-hmm.
you hear all the successful, even in our industry, successful realtors, successful agents, they're like, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. It didn't happen in 2 years. Now you can see growth within the first 2 years. I saw like a massive growth in the middle of my career in like a year. It was the clients I decided to work with. It was the processes and systems I put into place. It was the people I hired. It was the people I put myself around. Like I saw that. But that goes to say, if you're a solo agent, you don't get that. You don't, even if you have a flexible team or brokerage, you have flexible, where like, you don't have to come. I mean, technically we're, our own individual solo entrepreneurs. What do they call it? Independent contractors, right? We don't have to be made mandatory to go to anything. But that just shows you how committed you are to your business.
Yeah.
And I think people join teams thinking it's the magic sauce. Like, I'm going to join this team. They're going to tell me step by step everything I need to do. They're going to check off the box and I'm going to be making thousands of dollars. And when that doesn't happen, when the team member says, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And then they're like, well, there's no point in me being in this team. Why should I give you X amount of money if I'm not doing anything? That's true too. Like if you don't want to work, or you don't really want to strive to do the next thing, then just be a solo agent and figure out what you want to do first.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to be on a team, the expectations are, I built this team, whoever the team lead is, because I have proved to show value and to take what I've done to be successful to share it with you. And coming from a team lead who has been there, we want it sometimes more for the team member. We want it
Yep.
for them. And we're like, hey, do this and do that. And I promise this is going to work out. And then they don't do it. And they're like, well, I don't know. And I don't know why I'm not making any money. I don't know why I'm this. I'm like, are you doing things that I told you to? No, because I can't make you do it as a team lead. And the team is it's not the secret sauce. Being in the team is not the secret sauce.
No,
They
it's
have
more
secret
yeah.
process. I mean, they have secret resources. I guess they're not really secret, but they have resources that they can share with you. But it's the accountability, it's the motivation, it's the inspiration, it's the thing that kind of helps you get out of your own way. And that's what a good team will do.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody is a team lead, it's because they have leadership qualities, right? And whenever you're trying to come into your own, I think it's always a best idea in anything you do to align yourself to be in direct contact with someone who's doing better than you, someone who you want to be like, someone who makes more money than you. And what a blessing it is to have direct access to a team lead whenever you do join a team that does want to provide that for you, that does want to see you win. And you will recognize that like right away. It's not going to take long for you to see and take on that energy, but you have to be ready to receive it as well. Because I have been on teams where, other agents are in the mix and you could just feel that energy where they're not about it, right? They're not pumped up. They're not excited. They're not like wanting to do the work. And honestly, whenever that's in the mix of a team, it could spread like a disease. And I protect my energy no matter what. And I don't like to be exposed to that because my brain, I've trained it for so long to just receive um, the winning attitude, the positive vibes, and that could really just mess me up. I'm not that weak, right? But it could mess up a good thing. And being in a team environment can really just change your mindset. Again, we'll go back to the original values. Like I said, there's values in certain teams, and when a team lead is in the leadership position of where you want to be eventually, why not be on a team? Like align yourself with the people.
I will say though, there's some teams like okay, there's when they classify themselves as a team, it really means that you have one person or two people, whatever, the team that have other agents under them. They receive a commission split for their mentoring, their time from that agent on top of whoever the brokerage is, right? Now, teams come in all shapes and sizes. There's 2 people teams, there's 10 people teams, and there's 500 people teams. Now, you got to find what works for you because a 10-person team may be perfect. You're like, I get to know everybody. Everyone vibes with me. I know what's going on. They can help me. I kind of picked my people that I work well with, and everyone shares value and, is everyone's cheerleader. And then you have like a 300-person team, and you're like, I don't know. I've never seen that person before, but I know they're on my team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it all depends. Like, as long as you're getting what you need, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And are the team leads accessible? In a larger team, it's hard just in logistically to be available for your team. So everything that I've always done, whether I work with clients directly in my coaching business, whether I'm doing, a one-day event, like I keep my numbers small. Like I think I've done maybe 15 agents at once in a team. And then again, I don't want to be a part of a team that has 500 agents. That's just not how I work. And sometimes you don't get to see everyone because nowadays everything's virtual. So you may not have in-person meetings. And if you have virtual meetings, you may not see everybody. People may not jump on. So that's kind of sad in my opinion. Like I join a team because I want to be a part of everyone and I want to understand and learn everyone as a team member and as a team lead. I would hope the same. Everyone's life is different. And that's what happened.
I don't know. Dashing.
And that's the great thing about being an independent agent working in a team. You get that flexibility, but at some point you want to be a part of everyone. You want to know everyone's name. You want to know everyone's face. And some teams don't allow that. They just don't. But somebody mentioned, somebody made a comment that, hey, what do you mean it's going to take me 5 years to be successful? I heard it was going to take 3 months. So I have bills to pay. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. That's a whole nother IG live where we talk about your goals and your it
Nice. There it goes.
what you need, right? If I need to work, I need to feed myself and my family. I have goals, I have dreams, I have other investments that I do. I work to fund those other things. And if you are in dire need, if you are like, I have to work, but I don't want to work in corporate, I don't want to have a job, and I really just want to be my own boss, you're going to work twice as hard, twice as tired, but it feels different. And you may make less money than you would in corporate. Some people do, but they enjoy it because they get to have control. They get to know that they're doing this for them on their terms. And when I say your terms, are you a lazy entrepreneur or are you efficient entrepreneur or are you like, and I hate the term hustler because that's coming back, and hustle is it is the way that some of us have grown up. But I mean, hustle is like it's a culture. It's like my nature. It's in my nature. I can't think any other way. And part of that is a trauma response because I was in survival mode since I was like 14 years old, right? So I do that unintentionally, and that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that another time. But but that also makes me aware that I have bigger dreams and bigger goals and bigger passions, and that is going to make it's going to force me to do more than the average person. And if you're not going to outwork the next realtor or the next agent in your area, then what are you even doing? If you're okay with mediocrity, if you're okay with doing 3 deals a year, then be my guest. You probably don't even need to be on a team. You can go get one of these flat fee brokerages who you may never meet, and you pay $300 a transaction, and they offer you the basics, and that's cool. I'm not a basic bitch. I don't like basics, so I don't do that. I'll pay more for more information. I'll pay more for immediate like leads that are like qualified and ready to go. I'll pay more to learn something that I didn't know now instead of taking me 6 months. Like, it just depends on what you're willing to invest in your business. So that's really the basics between the team and working solo. Working solo, you're going to get like minimal. You're going to pay out minimum, but you're probably not going to get as much. Now, I will say, if you're an individual agent within EXP and you're not on a team, I know from firsthand experience, and some of these other big box brokerages as well, they have a massive library of training, of resources. EXP has it all, in all facets, marketing, luxury. Like, they have so much training. Like, you could be an individual agent and really be successful, but it is overwhelming. And when you have that much information at your fingertips, you're like, where do I start? What do I do? You're like going a little crazy. And sometimes it's nice to have somebody come and say, hey, let's pick this, do this. And that's where a team lead or a mentor or a coach or somebody that's going to tell you, hey, let's take it here. So you're going to pay for it one way or the other. Get a team, be on the team, get a coach, find a mentor. You're going to pay for it somehow. Stop trying to skimp. These agents that say, oh, I just want to pay 10%, 20%, and I want you to give me X, Y, Z, A, B, C, LMNOP. They want you to, it's not going to happen. Like, you guys are like living a dream world.
By the way,
So,
did you get a call from the agent that I met this weekend?
I have not
Last week?
received a call yet. No, not yet.
I'm gonna follow up with him. That was a good example. I know that I have referred a few agents to you because I just think it just brings so much value to have at least a coach if you're not going to be on a team. I think even if you're on a team, just having individualized coaching is pivotal to like success in your business. So good job out there coaching everybody, Kim.
And I'm actually now that we're talking about it, because
yeah, why don't you tell them about it?
Let's talk about it, right? Because I've created multiple ways to work with me, because I know that there's agents in different levels, and that kind of not sure what they need. And so I've created 3 different ways to work with me. One-on-one is always going to be best. You get to have me for an hour at a time, and we go over, dissecting each part of your business. And we do a little bit of self-work too, to help you manage what you're going to be doing in your business. One-on-one coaching is always great. And sometimes people either don't have the commitment, they don't understand it, they're not ready for it, or financially they just don't feel like they can afford it. But guys, anything in this space, you need to be willing to invest in yourself, whatever that looks like. The second way is I am putting on 1 day, like all day intensive trainings on 6 core areas of your business. We talk about mindset and goal setting philosophy. We talk about networking. We talk about lead gen, taxes. We talk about every parts of real estate business as I know it and breathe it. And that is 1 whole day. I try to be cognizant of our schedules, because I know even my schedule is super busy. But if I can schedule and carve out 1 day from 10 to 5 to go over all those areas, I'm limiting the people that I'm allowing to register, so I can have this kind of this kind of a conversation with them, like more personal, understand their business, to be able to like go through the course information, but also talk to them directly and maybe do some personalized coaching. And the other way is I'm creating a membership space. So it will be on a Facebook group, but it's private. It will be a monthly membership where you can pay monthly, and I will be in there doing live trainings, answering live Q&A calls, because sometimes people just like, I don't need all this, but I need something. And I'm going to be able to do that. So I can show up for everyone with the questions that they have, but also some things that I think would be valuable from my one-day intensive, and then some of my coaching. So the 3 ways: personalized coaching, one-on-one, my one-day intensive event. The next one is October 26th. I'm only taking a handful of people. I don't want it to be overloaded. I'm not trying to do this to gain followers or get everyone's money. I want to be able to connect with people personally, but in a facet where I can connect with more than one person. And then my membership, which is also going to have a cap.
So
because
how long does it be?
Excuse me?
How long is it?
The intensive, it's all day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
There will be a lunch break. There will be a couple of breaks in between. But the goal is to get as much as I can get done in one day, so you guys can go back to, being in working in your business, and you'll implement things that I talk about immediately. You will implement things immediately. You will walk away with aha moments. You will walk away with thinking about your business in a different way. You'll be more confident. You'll know exactly what to focus on and what to push out of the way that's just distraction. So the link is at the top of my page. It is called Chaos to Cash Flow, because in my life, real estate was very chaotic for many, many years until I was able to put things in place and actually see the cash flow. So that is the reason why I came to Chaos to Cash Flow, and that's what I'm going to stick with. And I'm sure you can relate. I mean, everybody can relate how chaos in our business doesn't bring the dollar bills, right?
I can attest that it's probably going to be jam-packed with tons of value, and you're going to walk away a better agent immediately. So that's exciting.
I tried to make it not super overwhelming, so where you could digest pieces, implement it, take notes, ask questions, and then I can ask you questions about your business and be able to give you some perspective and a little bit of private coaching in between there. I wanted to do as much as I could in one day. I know it's a lot. I'm not the kind of person that likes these, oh, we're going to do a 5-day event, or we're going to do, no, I need to know now so I can like start working. So I want to attract those same people that are like me. And if you just want to get all the information right now, today, to be able to start making changes the next day, then this is going to be for you. If you want little bits and pieces kind of, thrown at you weekly, then the monthly membership is going to be better, because then you can think about what you're working on. Maybe this was good for the solo agent who may not want to go into a team, but still wants nuggets of information, who want to grow their business, maybe see what they could change. That's going to be really good for you. And of course, personalized coaching, if you really want to go from zero, to hero. Okay.
Well, that's awesome. I'm excited. You're going to post it?
Everything's in the link in my top of my page, my Instagram page. So most of the information is there for the Chaos to Cash Flow. The registration link, personal coaching right now is closed. I already have enough clients, and I'll open that up hopefully in the next month. And the membership site should be open by late this month. I am in the process. I've had a lot of people ask me about it, so I decided to create that for those agents that are just kind of want to dabble in it, not really commit, which I understand. We're all in different levels. So, but there's also ways. I mean, if you're interested, and I know I'll get a lot of people that just ask questions about EXP, because it's kind of like this weird virtual brokerage that exists but doesn't exist, and people talk about it and people don't know about it. So if you have any questions about that and you're like, hey, like, what is this about and how can it benefit me, I'm all open for that as well. But right now
I have to jump off. I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, Loops has to jump off, so let's say bye to Loops, and I'm gonna wrap this up.
Keep telling them.
I will. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. But I wanted to stay on this topic about teams or going solo. And nothing, if you look at every entrepreneur, they always say, like, you can't do this alone. Even if you're just wanting to run a business, start a side hustle while you're doing real estate, right? Like, there's plenty of real estate agents who find a need or find another passion during this journey, which is okay, right? Because the ultimate goal of real estate is to either build your real estate portfolio or use the money that you created or that you built from this for other things, and that's okay. But how do you squeeze the most amount of money out of this opportunity if you don't know which things to focus on? But if you want to start any type of business, you're not going to want to do it alone. You really need to have quality people around you and quality people that are going to give you actionable steps and like really tell you and not gatekeep. And I'm all about that. Like, I share a lot of stuff for free. I do a lot of impromptu coaching sessions unintentionally. I just feel called to help people, whatever. Did that this weekend. I have a friend who is in law. She's in workers' comp law, and she was having trouble hiring staff. And we talked about certain things and kind of went through different things that she could do and maybe how to gain a better, better candidates. And it's something that I do unintentionally because I've gone through this journey in real estate since 2006 when I got licensed. And it was a lot of bumps along the way in the beginning. And I think I found the things that make it easier, where I work less, but I continue to make more. And I want to share that with everyone. And that's the reason for having this one-day intensive, to get not as many of you in the room, because I'm limiting it. So it's not a lot of people, but getting those people in one room and going over all the information together. So if you're interested, please check out the link at the top of my page. And send me any questions, even if you have questions about real estate, or you're not sure which direction to go, or you're not sure which questions to ask. I answer everything directly. I don't have like a bot or a assistant that goes in yet. I'm not there yet, but I don't have that. I actually answer everybody's questions, and I really want to provide some kind of clarity when you decide to go into this industry, that there's a lot of things that are going to make or break you, and aligning yourself with the right people is one of them. And thinking that you know it all and you're going to do it all on your own and you'll figure it out to save $1, to save a penny, to save a dime. I promise you, your return with picking the right people, whether it's coaches, teams, brokerages, making those right decisions is what's going to elevate you. So I hope this was informational. I always enjoy my conversations with Lupita. And yeah, we'll be here next week. If you have a topic that you're like, hey, I would like to know about this, or you want us to talk about, like, shoot me a message on Instagram, shoot her a message, and we'll get it into the playlist, because right now I'm picking the topics based on things that happen during the week that are brought to me, or things that I can think of as a newer agent or a struggling agent who is not really where you want to be, because that's where I was at one point. And yeah, I want to create a community of more experienced, educated, and competent agents to make more money. I wanted to help turn your chaos into cash flow. That's what we're here for. So until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful week and kill it.